So as usual, we get started with the cables and wires, but thank you for coming this morning to the Immersive Agriculture Conference. My name is Jarrod Bassen. I work for DXC Technology, and for those who maybe haven't heard of DXC Technology, we are actually the largest IT services company in Australia. We have about 7,000 people in Australia and about 150,000 people worldwide. And we service all sorts of different markets, everything from federal government, defence, mining, energy, banking, healthcare, all sorts of different industries. So we're going to bring a very cross-industry perspective to augmented reality, virtual reality today. My particular role is to lead digital innovation in our consulting group. And what we're going to talk about in this session is really how do we bring augmented reality and virtual reality, but more specifically augmented reality, to workers at the time and place that they are using the technology. There's been a lot of sessions about virtual reality for training and so on, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But really what we've been looking at augmented reality for 10 years now. And the thing that really triggered this was the skills shortage in the mining industry. And what could we do to alleviate skills shortage and make it easier to get the skills or to reduce the time and effort required to perform the tasks in remote locations? That was really the original catalyst for working with augmented reality. And in that time, we've seen that the way that people interact with the digital world has changed dramatically. And augmented reality is really the next phase of this. It's the part where we start connecting the worker to the digital world. Why are we so interested in augmented reality? Or more importantly, why are all our customers so interested in augmented reality? It's usually around making workers more efficient and effective. So there's a lot of things around effective utilisation of people, and I think you've already seen David from Virtual Method talked a little bit earlier this morning about remote expert type solutions, being able to have a person at an off-site location who is an expert helping or assisting a person who is on the job site and requires additional assistance. But training and supervision also obviously very, very important to making people more effective. But we're also going to talk about safety, right? Safety of the workforce, incredibly important because the cost of safety impacts both productivity and also, of course, the safety and the health of the workers themselves. So it impacts the social responsibility and the license to operate for companies, as well as the risk profile. And really importantly is reducing rework. So how do we make sure that the worker does the job right the first time, every time? How do we get every worker to perform as well as your best worker? These are the kinds of things that we would like to be able to do, and we're going to show you how you do that. Now, the first thing I'm going to show you is the use of augmented reality in training. Now, one of our customers, Ixom, was here yesterday and was showing you how we've done augmented reality training packages in chemical safety. And what we're going to show now is a completely different use of augmented reality, something that you haven't seen before. And this is related to manual handling. So how can we apply augmented reality to manual handling to be able to detect what a person is doing, understand the physical body mechanics of the person, and then guide them so that they can perform a lifting exercise correctly. And by doing that, we actually build, if you like, the muscle memory. It's like having a personal physiotherapist gently showing you how to move your body and guiding you through the process. So you actually know what it feels like in your legs and your back and your shoulders to perform that lifting motion correctly. So what you're seeing here is we're guiding the person here through a simple lifting task. And the augmented reality headset that they're using, this one's a Microsoft HoloLens, is detecting the position of the person all the way through the lift and is actually calculating the position of the person's body as they go through that. And the trainer is being guided with sort of like a heads-up display to show how to keep their body in the correct position. It's really quite amazing. But just by knowing the head position, we can work out the entire body mechanics of the person. So this is one example of training probably in a different context you haven't seen. Remote expert is something else that's really, really important, and we'll show you this actually being utilised in the field in a moment. But essentially, we can get the person in the field to be able to operate much more effectively. Travel time, particularly in Australia, remote and rural locations, it could be anything as much as an hour to get to site, or it could be a day or more if you're travelling to a remote mine site or an oil and gas plant or something like that. So a day's lost travel time, makes a lot of things not possible. And the other solution that we're going to show is what we call intelligent checklist. Intelligent checklist is taking the concept of a work instruction or a checklist and taking this completely to the next level. So we are not only able to just provide the instructions, so obviously you want to instruct the worker what to do, perform this step, then this step, then this step, but we want to create an auditable record of what was done. And we don't want them just to tick off the paper. We actually want to take, we want to create an auditable record and know exactly what was done. So think of this in terms of, say, a quality process, a quality control process. In food, it could be a food production process or a laboratory process where we're dealing with compliance, and we want to create an auditable record of what the activity was. The way you do that at the moment is typically, what most people do is you create a checklist, you list all the activities the person's supposed to perform, they tick off the check sheet, they sign their name at the bottom, and then they hand the check sheet over to their supervisor, and the supervisor probably countersigns it and so on, put it into a file, and that's the evidence that the work was done. Now, there's a couple of problems with that. Firstly, we actually don't know what the worker did. We're relying on the signatures, but if the worker inadvertently added the wrong additive or the wrong chemical or put the wrong quantity in, the check sheet has no way of recording that, so we don't know what was actually done. And secondly, in the mining industry, we even had a name for it. We used to call it crib room maintenance. On a mine site, you know if the check sheet has been done in the field. If you're on a coal mine and a maintenance check sheet is performed in the field, it comes back black, it's got coal dust on it. It's very clear that it's been done in the field. If it's done in the ute or in the air-conditioned crib room, it's very clear that it wasn't done in the field because it comes back pristine white. Now, most of the check sheets came back surprisingly pristine white. They were filled out in an air-conditioned environment. They weren't done at the place where the work was being performed. That happens in many industries as well. So the quality of that check sheet is as a record is usually some level of question about that. So what if we could actually video the work while it's being performed, also use the voice and text as the worker fills it out so that we have a record of what was done, and correlate that back with the video, and provide all of that information so that it can be audited offline, so that a supervisor at a later date, or it could be your end customer, could come along at any point and review the check sheets if they had any audit requirements, and they'd be able to spot audit any of the quality control processes that were performed, and use that to provide a level of compliance and a level of visibility as to what you're doing in your process that isn't even imaginable today. So we'll show you this happening right now, and we'll show not just this happening, we'll show this happening in a remote rural location as well. So this is in New South Wales in Australia. We worked with the energy provider, the utility in the area, which is Essential Energy. They service all of rural New South Wales and some parts of southern Queensland. And their challenge was, how do we do a quality control process on the workers who are maintaining and installing electrical transformers. So they're up a power pole, they've got the full protective equipment, gloves, safety equipment, the whole lot, noisy environment, and outdoors, and in a relatively remote location. So we show you this actually happening.
What's the job that you're about to do?
We're going to commission a three-phase substation. Generally, before we put a sub in position, we do construction tests, we measure the sub, check our insulation, prove that there's no short, so the sub is safe to energise.
How did you do this job before you had the railway?
For this part of the job, our commissioning procedures on our tablets.
Yes.
So generally, I needed a man on the ground to shout at.
All right, and what are you expecting to do now today?
I'm going to basically talk to the helmet. With all the questions that come up in the screen, I can basically see what I'm doing and record the results on it. It saves me having to either shout at the guy on the ground or continually take my gloves off, because the iPads won't respond with rubber gloves on.
So that's now recording. on a camera.
So as soon as you get into the bit where you're taking readings, can you see on the right hand side?
Yeah, I can see the red camera, yeah.
That'll tell you it's recording.
Yes.
So we'll be able to upload this later on and view exactly what you're seeing.
Awesome.
So now we're up to our start of our checklist.
Alright. Take us over here. Righto. Yes. Next page. Input value. 247, full stop, 3. Accept. Next page. Do you want to do B to neutral there, mate? Yep. What's the voltage? Is input value 248. Accept. Next page. C to neutral, mate. Yeah, you're right, mate. Yeah.
That's what I just did through the tablet, basically. You scroll up from there, answer those questions, and that's our commissioning form as it stands at the moment. Those were the inputs I was putting into the head unit.
So what you're seeing now, this is the output. The output's captured into a digital form.
When that form's linked with...
And as they go through that form, the video is also, and the photos, if they've taken any photos throughout there, which they may well do, is linked. Now, for a number of reasons, we don't actually video the entire process. We video certain sections of that process, and the worker is aware at all times if they're being videoed because they've got a red icon that displays in there very visibly, so they know if they're being videoed at that point or not, and they are able to stop it. There's obviously a lot of practical reasons why the worker has to be in control of the video. Now what you're seeing is the remote expert.
Open Zoom. Call Merricky White. Start call. Hey Merricky, you there today?
Hey, good morning. Hello, how are you?
Hey, go Merricky. I'm just out here. We've got some voltage problems down at the factory. I was just wondering if you could possibly tell me if you know where DB8 is here.
Yeah, no worries. I know the one you're looking at. That's the building C, I think.
Oh, brilliant.
Just give me a second, I'll verify, just so I'm sure. Yeah, no, building C.
Beautiful. Okay, so yeah. So at the moment, that fault's going to affect building C. All right, I'll head to that that distribution board and have a look.
Yeah. All right. Let us know if you need anything else.
Thanks, Merricky.
No worries.
Merricky White, end call.
All right. So I think the key points from that really, intelligent checklists, being able to anywhere there's an auditable process. There are ways now to use these immersive technologies to record the work that was being done at a level of fidelity that you just can't get through a paper checklist, able to provide that additional auditability and visibility requirement, particularly where you want to provide trust and visibility of what is going on and compliance. Next steps on here, we're now talking about putting this into using this with the blockchain, which provides an auditable record that's immutable so that there's a permanent record that cannot be changed and you can expose parts of that to end customers in different ways. And also the addition of AI and machine learning into the visual recognition of what is going on as well, so that rather than having people looking at the video records, using the machine learning to be able to interpret the video that's recorded and make recommendations from that. So thank you very much.